you just mentioned about what's wrong with Green Bay and both sides of the ball and how they gave up a touchdown after making it a one-score game at home. I can't believe I'm saying this, but how much of this can you attribute to the Jets being really damn good, Greg Olsen? How much can you attribute to that?
I think a good part of it, right? I think it's a two-pronged conversation. I think the Packers are uncharacteristically disjointed, right? Since LaFleur's taken over, we're just used to this team winning 12, 13 games every single year, and we just expect Aaron Rodgers to be the MVP, right? It's just and all of a sudden it's not quite that, and they're 500, and the sky's falling. But then on the other end, you have another team now that entered the game 3-2 with the Jets. Now they're 4-2, and they're 2 games above 500, what feels like for the first time in God, who knows how long. But I'll tell you, they are young. They are talented. They are very confident. It's hard to believe that they have all these first and second year guys. To some of the graphics we showed during the game about their point differential and points scored in the fourth quarter and their ability to close out games and win close games. For a young team, that's very, very rare. And I think it's a product of Robert Saleh. I think he's a stud. I think he's a fantastic coach. I think the culture change that they've implemented there is pretty significant. And their acquisition of talent has been really good. Their last 2 drafts, they've added premier players at premier positions: quarterback, tackle, pass rusher, corner this past year. Of course, in the second round, they get a guy like Breece Hall. I mean, it's a really talented, fun group. And now they needed to check a box with a big time win, and I think winning in Lambeau Field qualifies as
yes,
that.
Does. Yes, it does. Yeah, man.
And I'll tell you that's kind of the progression of a rebuild.
It is. Well, I mean,
next box.
Yeah, the box, man, that I'm checking, all right, is that clearly you mentioned Breece Hall, and you want to talk about brash and confident. That Sauce Gardner for sure. That kid, Quinnen Williams, up front is a game wrecker of the first variety. And when I say first variety, I'm talking about the tops in the game at that position, and there's a lot of top names out there that you can mention, and he's heading in that direction, man. And you saw it in person. He blocked a field goal. He was in Rodgers' lap all day. He is a tone setter. He's allowing the guys behind him to fill the gaps. He's allowing the guys in the back end to do their jobs. He's friggin' amazing, that guy.
There was multiple times during the broadcast that the only way we could classify what was happening is Quinnen Williams is unblockable. Run, pass, you mentioned he blocked the field goal. I mean, he was arguably the biggest factor in the entire game on either side of the ball. And I think, and when we talked to Robert Saleh last week going into the game, we brought him up, and he said, he's kind of flying under the radar right now, not due to lack of ability or his impact on the game. He's just, unfortunately, he's been playing on a bad team that hasn't played a lot of marquee games. Well, and he goes, if we continue to win and he gets a national stage, look out. And sure, right on time, he played a national game and was arguably the best player on the field. So he's we all remember him coming out of school. We all remember the impact. And some of the guys, you mentioned a few of them, some of those guys they have on defense, Jermaine Johnson, the first-round pick out of Florida State, he didn't even play. Another one of their first-round picks from this year. You mentioned Sauce Gardner. Carl Lawson, the other end on the other side, is having a big-time year coming back off injury. So, they're talented, and I'll tell you what, I think they're going to be a force here for a long time.